Good morning. How's everybody doing out there? Welcome back to the Sleuth Intuition channel. I guess I'm your host. Sleuth. You can call me Sleuth. Who do we got in the house today? Joseph. What topic are we exploring this morning? I was thinking the timeline. Maybe we can focus there and whatever else you guys want to talk about. Thank you, BR. Thanks for hitting the like button. Appreciate you. Oh, yeah, that's what I was doing. Hold on. Something up real quick. Good afternoon, Rescue All the Dogs. Well, it doesn't look like there are any changes to Richard Allen's My Case. The last couple changes have been done on a Wednesday, decision made on a Tuesday, so I thought maybe we would see something this morning. Good morning, Dawn. Good morning, Lynn. Good morning, Olivia. Give me 1 second here, Miss Persevere. All right. Here you go. Arch says, we doing a Photoshop 101 lesson today? Oh, yeah. Brought my experts, and Beach Fairy is my number one expert. Because she does have some theories and maybe even Photoshop. So she'll be my first expert. Hey, Julianne. Sparky. Happy hump day, guys. Just persevere. Shooter. Gonna meet Shooter on the 9th hole at 9 tonight. I'm gonna wear something sharp. SP74, hello. Boston Christian, hello. Brad, what up? Outside of the grid. Great interview yesterday. I posted it on the Discord. Good stuff. Go check out that channel. Bossy, what's up? What's going on over there, Bossy, on your side of town? You seen anything? Got some boots on the ground info for us? Sees through, hello. Sees through says timeline don't add up in my opinion. Yeah, let's talk about it. Tell me why you think that. What's up, Digi? I want to speak about the preposterous claims and the damage they do the case and specifically the family. Yeah, I got a message from Becky this morning. She's not happy. But she's told me to calm down. She said there's nothing you can do about these types of people until the court proceedings are all done and people know what's what. Then they'll stop. And it just makes me sad that she tells me that she's used to this. Man, how do you get used to that stuff? And I'm not innocent, When I first started my YouTube channel, I was all about the conspiracies and statistics of family involvement and all this stuff. But you got to remember, I wasn't a professional. I had never conducted an investigation in my entire life. So it does hurt a little bit to see trusted professionals, who are ex-law enforcement and investigators, kind of push that narrative. I feel bad, and it has nothing to do with the case. It's just specifically what it does to the family, especially if you don't have 100% proof. Like, man, it's just reckless. And I'm not innocent and I'm not judging anybody. I'm just providing pushback so that this type of narrative doesn't become a runaway train. This is just the antithesis. Cindy, hello. Tar Heel Girl. Yes, that video was very upsetting. What's up, Ruckus? What's your opinion on what Lilith was saying about there being like 4 guys involved at the bridge that day? Do you know anything about Justin Allen? No, I don't know anything. I just know that wife Lilith says she's about the victims, and then she goes and jumps on a YouTube channel and starts bashing the family. So just watch out for hypocrites. And I remember when I started my YouTube channel, I would do the whole disclaimer thing. That shit doesn't work. I'm not saying anything, here's my disclaimer. And then you proceed to say exactly that. Here we go. Let's start this conversation off with Sees Through. Thank you so much for getting us going here. The phone call at 1:38 while dropping off the girls off would put them there before witness 4. What phone call at 1:38? Pretty sure Kelsey was making a phone call to her boyfriend closer to 1:45. And then we're talking like 5-6 minutes here. If you have issues with the timeline and you're worried about 6-7 minutes, even 15 minutes, I mean, that's natural to have that small of a window on your timeline. You have human error, right? You have recollection. We all know that that's skewed. And that's all we're dealing with here is eyewitness account and the human element. But the PCA breaks down the timeline pretty good, in my opinion. I see no discrepancies. Olivia says, sleuth intuition, you don't believe... No, I don't believe him. Not only do I not believe him, I'm offended by what he said. And to make a statement like that off of a so-called expert with no data and only 10 seconds of looking at an image, and then you come out with a statement like that, it's offensive. And everybody else who is pushing this narrative, it doesn't bother me because they're not professionals. They're not supposed to get it right. They're supposed to work through the kinks and then learn. I was there. But when you have a professional saying shit like this, that's why everybody jumps on it. This theory now has a sponsor. Thank you, Cindy. Yeah, I've come a long way. That's why I don't want to judge too harshly on some people. They're in the infancy of this case. They may not realize it, but they are. Beach says, yeah, exactly. I just don't agree with spreading more possible misinformation. No, it's okay. I don't mind the talk of possibilities. As long as we're saying hypothetical, these, you could tie the story together this way, or what if this? Because I mean, everybody knows that the family is 90%, family, friends, neighbors are 90% of the time going to be responsible. That doesn't mean that every time a murder happens that they did it. You have to follow the information. That's it. You have to follow the facts. You can't hang these weird what ifs on a string and then try to hang yourself from those thin ass strings because you're going to fall. And it's only on a whim that those strings hold you up and they come to be true. And they could be true. But if If they were good theories, you wouldn't need to make up experts and sources. Nobody mentions an expert without providing the data. Because if you have an expert that's backing up what you're saying, you immediately get that in writing. You get it down on a piece of paper. That way I can show laymen such as myself. That's the part I don't like. I don't mind the theories. I don't mind the conspiracies. It's the word expert at the end of it that I don't like. I don't like it. I don't like people saying, oh, well, this person and that person, they're experienced investigators in the field, and they agree with it. Because people who have no clue about how an investigation is conducted, they're just going to follow that blindly because they trust these people. But to me, all I see is pure laziness. It's laziness. It's scraping off the few top layers and then going gung ho with what you found there. It's lazy. That's all it is. It's simple and plain. It's lazy. It's food for a good storyteller. You know, a great storyteller could take all these facts and put them together, and then you have that light bulb. But that's all it is. It's just a really good story, an interesting story, and I can become part of that conversation as long as you don't throw that word out at the end, expert. Especially when you're not giving us the name of the expert, you're not giving us the data, you're not giving us any of this expert information. It's just your own bullshit with the word expert at the end. That's the only thing I have a problem with. Is that word. I had to Google. She explained why she uses that moniker. Yeah, because she's dark hearted. It's the only reason for that. This is from Beach Ferry. People seem to forget that these are real people, a real family, not a spooky true crime case to have our cozy night in and get some entertainment. I think it's okay to get the entertainment from because we're all learning here. There's people that could go to college in the future and study the Delphi case. It could be their major, they could do their thesis on it. I mean, this is a serious case. So I don't mind that we're getting the entertainment value. It's the other part that we got to watch out for. And like I said, I'm not judging anybody and I don't want to be a hypocrite because I've been there. It's the problem with professionals and the word expert without showing any detailed findings. Like you're basically accusing the sister, Kelsey, of participating in a murder of her sister. I'm not saying that's not what's happening. I'm just saying if you're going to go out on a limb and say some shit like that and then use the word expert and then you're not going to show anything, it's irresponsible. Hey, Wanda, Beach Ferry, Boston, Olivia, thank you guys for participating in the chat all the time. Thank you. People need to realize that Kelsey was also she was 16 and going through a traumatic. Look, the first person who ever mentioned a mean teen theory was me. I'm not saying that it's out of the realm of possibility. I just don't see how. I don't see it. And if you're going to be using the word like expert and it's been proven, to me, those are just words. You have to show us. Because usually, if it's been proven, you have something detailed and written out to where people can understand it. How else are you going to prove it if people can't understand what the hell they're looking at? Karen says, Sleuth, I think we've all to some degree gone down a road somewhat thinking. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with thinking. It's trying to add fake sources and bullshit experts at the end of that to help convince or push your narrative. You're not happy with it just being a theory or an item of discussion. Nope. Your ego will not allow it. You need a source and you need an expert so that you can have the masses eating out of your hands because they trust you. They trust what you're saying, but it's very lazy and dangerous. And there's people who are being affected by it right now. And that might be why I'm so upset. And by no means am I innocent, but I have learned, and I will be, and I am growing. Kelsey's phone call was at 1:38 to the boy. That's not true. To the boyfriend. Yep, she did leave at 1:49, but she was only on the phone for about 5 minutes. Boston says, "What cop facts say?" Well, he said, "Just go watch his video. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to promote it. I don't want to talk about it." Beach says, "It's so awful. I can't imagine being Kelsey with all this." Yeah, it's upsetting. Bossy says, "I stopped following cop facts last year. I can't remember why, but it was most likely misinformation." Yeah. Karen says, "I think you'd have to be a wild, different type of evil for family to be involved." Well, you'd be surprised. That's not the point. And that's part of their theory. They use that piece of information, but in order to make it fit, that photo has to be photoshopped, right? In order for this theory to work, that's the piece. That's the cornerstone to the theory, because it falls apart without that. And if you follow the narrative, it leads right to Kelsey. It leads right back to Michaela and all them. And I'm not saying these people are not involved. For all I know, Bigfoot is involved. You know, could be aliens. I'm saying is that there's no information to point that way, so why go there? And if your expert who looked at the photo, you didn't even have the damn original image, how are you going to analyze it? The photos that are going around online have been passed around so many times. You do not have the original. Not to mention, Snapchat gives you the ability to instantly layer and apply filters. I just don't understand. Well, I do understand. I just don't think you guys understand. I know where this is going and I know where it's coming from. This is not the first time that this has come out. It leads right to Kelsey. That's all. If you break it down, think about it. Yeah, I'm glad to call Becky Patty a friend. I'm glad that she reaches out to me. I mean, that's crazy to me. You know, to think where I've come from and where I am now, I've learned a lot. And we're going to continue to get better. But the girls would have been ahead of the witness 4 if that was true. That's not, I don't know what you mean. Here, let me see if I have my timeline folder here somewhere. Maybe that'll help give us some reference. I mean, have you guys read the PCA? Have you guys read it, written down the information, worked it out? The timeline matches perfectly. If worms had machine guns, shit, with technology, you never know. Who knows what those worms are up to down there? They're on the underground. They're plotting. Yeah, it seems like every 3 years we go through it. Yep, confirmation bias right there. And if you're not going to fact check yourself, I mean, what's the point? Yeah. And Chopper, I would love to get behind somebody. If they can show the evidence and proof, that's different. We have something solid and we can get behind it. But to throw around the word expert, that shit's reckless, man. That's like people lying and saying, "Oh, I have a source. My sources tell me." Well, who's your source? Oh, I was sworn to secrecy. Yeah, right. Ruckus says, "I respect cop facts. Keep in mind that he didn't elaborate or explain. No, he did. He said that he's been thinking about it for a while and he didn't want to come out and say it. But now he had some experts look at the image and it took him 10 seconds to realize it was photoshopped and that the people that are implicated by that need to turn themselves in. And if they're the first ones to do it, they'll get the best deal." So I know exactly where this theory is leading. And the only way people are going to believe it is with the word expert attached to it. And that's the problem, Ruckus. A lot of people respect him. And that's why it's dangerous. But I like where Chopper's going with it. Yeah, just show us the proof that you have, and then we can stand by you. I would like to stand beside you and take this rough path. But I'm not going out on a whim to hurt a victim. That's crazy. I am insulting cop facts. So what? I don't think I minced my words, Olivia. What's up, Steffa? Chopper says, "Me, Libby was taking pictures out on the bridge. She got BG and she got the voice. What a brave girls was on that day." Hey, Lakeside. Thank you, Ruckus. Gray has details. Good to see you, Lynn, Shay. Hello, Melissa. Good to see all you guys. Yeah, Luis. I mean, we can discuss it, but we're not going to push it, you know? I don't mind discussing these things and looking at these as possibilities. But if it's paper thin, let's call it paper thin. Let's not say, "Oh, we have sources or we have experts." That way you believe what I say. It's a very, I don't know, I'm very upset by this. What's up, Grizz? Wife Lula says, "Sleuth, I don't think they were saying Kelsey was involved." Well, if you think that photo was photoshopped, you do. And you were definitely pushing that narrative in a chat recently. You can't serve two masters, wife Lilith. You can't say you're here for the victims, right? And then go over here and bash and push a narrative that makes Kelsey complicit in the crime. That makes you a hypocrite. And I already know who you are. I know who Lilith is. I know all about all of that. You're not fooling me. There you go, Beach. We like speculation, but not when stated as fact. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay to speculate. We can tear down this channel, and what are we going to be doing? We're going to be looking at the Delphi case and speculating. I just don't want you to be left with all this crazy shit. Because believe it or not, the Patties and the Germans and the Siegerts and all those people, they're watching YouTube about this case. It sucks that we have to be first when it comes to reporting on this case, but we've been a step ahead of mainstream media the whole way because we care about the case. So when you guys are out here spilling these theories and blaming Kelsey, and you might not be blaming her directly, but for anybody that takes a second to really think about what they're saying, it leads right to her. And some have just come out and said it. Wife Lilith, like the friend Kelsey said, hacked into Libby's account, is what one person said. What does that have to do with anything? She better hurry. Karen says, I did see his video come up in my feed. My intuition doesn't trust him. There is something, but I don't want to brand him as something he isn't, but he seems a bit creepy to me. Yeah, and this isn't any kind of a personal attack. I'm directly attacking what he said. And I'm not even attacking what he said. I just don't like the fact that a professional is using the word expert without the common sense to provide those findings if you're going to push this kind of thing that could be hurtful to victims. I would love to stand next to Cop Facts with this. But right now, we only have the cop part. We don't have the facts part yet. So when that part comes out, I'll change my tune. I put a poll out yesterday and I asked everybody what they thought. And the number one reason for them believing the photo was faked was him. Fig Solves, what up? Child murder statistics show if the family was involved in the murder, it would have taken place at their home. When it's outside the home, the family being involved is close to 0% for kids. Exactly. And none of the evidence is pointing back to this. What it is, in my opinion, is we have this sense that there is maybe a hand of corruption or something guiding this investigation away from the truth. I get that. But that doesn't mean Kelsey and Michaela and all these guys came up with some crazy conspiracy to murder their own family member. That shit, I'm not saying it didn't happen. Like I said, Bigfoot could have been out there for all I know, setting up Richard Allen. You know, he had motive. You know, I have a Bigfoot expert, and he tells me that he was out there around that time. You know what I mean? It's just shit like that. Lakeside, quick question. In the FBI place, it says the girls were at the trail at 1 p.m. and on Ron Logan's land at 2:25. Is that true? I don't know about the 2:25 part, but yes, they said the girls were dropped off around 1 p.m. They were way off. They were dropped off closer to 1:40, 1:45. Give me a second. Come in. Oh, hey, baby. Thank you. I'm not on camera. Love you. Ooh, vanilla iced coffee. That's from McDonald's. This is yummy. Karen's asking, does anyone remember Randy's live where he said a friend of Libby set her up? I believe he stayed from the slumber party, but could be wrong. And the slumber party, though, definitely said that. Cammy says, I don't think Cotfax is lying, but shocked he said anything after ragging in the community before. Yeah, exactly. I just don't understand it. I don't understand how a professional can put out information like that without putting out any of the data. Because I mean, I was completely shocked. People were getting, victims are being hurt by this information, but yet there's no facts being provided. I hate how I'm reacting, guys. Sometimes I have what they call foot in the mouth syndrome, where if something's bothering me, you're going to hear about it and I don't care about the consequences. Where are you going? Kay, hello. The PCA is poor in details. Why don't they tell us when the alleged witnesses made their statements? Days, weeks, months, years after the year into this, Carter said there were no witnesses. Yeah, I mean, we could do a 2-hour show on the conflicting statements that they made. Because honestly, I think they were confused. You know, I don't think they had all of the information. Strategies change. So I'm not sure. I don't hang on every single statement from law enforcement. A lot of times when they're speaking, they're in front of cameras, you know, they're put on the spot and they're hoping for a good statement. You know, they don't want to look like idiots on the camera. But if they take your statement and the news reporter's like, okay, that's it, let's get out of here. And you're like, what? You know, I just stumbled with every single word. That's it. Yeah, sorry. That's all the time we got. You know, human error. The human aspect is part of everything. Archlux, for how much of a miserable prick he is, Gray Hughes has done some stellar work with this case. Yeah, I don't like Gray Hughes, but I respect him. And it seems like he's just um, forever triggered the way I'm triggered right now. It's frustrating. And I hate feeling this way because I'm not an emotional person. But when I see someone like Becky Patty upset and at the same time saying she's used to it, I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm getting too close to this case. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm spending too much time on it. But I was very upset by that. The one thing that I respect Gray for is he put himself in a position to where people who have intimate knowledge of this case felt comfortable and confident reaching out to him. And that's what I'm striving to do is just be um, create a place where victims' families and people who need help with cases can come and know that they're not going to be accused of committing the crime. And if we're going to accuse them, we better damn well have some good proof. Hey, Willow. Apple says, I always had a problem with the Abby photo. If you put the BG video next to the photo, you can tell. See, it's shit like this that drives me crazy. It's like I can't even argue that. I'm not going to waste my time anymore. Melissa, you may have missed it. I thought it made sense. Maserati, what up, pimpin'? Salute to you, sir. Wife Lilith seems to know things about the case that only someone who was at the scene would know. Full of shit, Lilith. Anyone else think every pic of the bridge looks weird? It's not just the Snapchat. It's literally every pic that looks funny. Teresita Hillis, I'm a Cop Facts fan, but I'm open to respect your opinion about this. Well, that's the part that's so upsetting because people follow him, they respect his work, they respect his professionalism. I don't see any of that in what took place yesterday. I don't see any professionalism whatsoever. And this is not a personal attack. This is pushback for people who don't realize that this theory leads directly to Kelsey and the family, to some kind of sick theory that the girls were killed the night before. They painted the room. Um, there's a book on the bed, all this crazy shit. And it's a lot of stuff that a good storyteller could put together. And it is interesting. And I'm not saying none of it is true, but you do realize the cost of pushing that theory. I just hope you're okay with that. And just so you know, the victims of this crime that you're covering are fully aware of what you've done, what you're saying, and the narrative that you're pushing, and it is affecting them. I just want you to know that. If you're listening and you're pushing this stuff, I don't mind people talking about it, but if you have experts, we need to see the work. Or don't mention it. It's pretty simple. Or don't say you have experts. It's not hard to say, in my opinion. Case says over a tear into the Carter claim there were no witnesses. Now he's got hundreds. Well, they were teenage girls. Why does he need to tell us there was witnesses so that we could go create conspiracy theories about these young girls? Sleuth, yesterday you said KG said there were 10 to 20 kids in the lot, but no cars. I don't know if she said 10 to 20. They saw, Kelsey and another witness saw the girls that Richard Allen seen. The thing that says 10 to 20 kids comes from Tara. And she doesn't say 10 to 20. She just says a whole bunch. And she says they were under the bridge. So she thinks that it may be common for people to go under there. And I'm sure that question had to do with the report of a couple under the bridge, meaning, yeah, there could have been a couple under the bridge. But Tara says when I was there was all kinds of people under the bridge. So what difference does it make? People go under there. Kelsey reported seeing kids there because she went under the 25 bridge, the same bridge that the witness that was out for a stroll went under on her way to the Mears lot. So she's seen them hanging out on the bridge, and then she parked. And then when Kelsey left, she saw the same kids hanging out over there by that bridge. I mean, the timeline matches, the witness accounts match. Cammy says, what is supposedly taken or added into the photo? I don't know. Wrong channel to ask. SP74 had to stop watching Gray. His pace and my short attention span don't mix. I'm a lurker in his channel. I don't like watching his coverage of Delphi because he has to spend most of his time arguing. But when he covers other cases, I mean, I'm all ears. Don't tell him that though. Digital says, I don't have a complete theory or a POI I'm stuck to. I just have questions, and I think everything should be questioned in this case. I agree with that. But don't lie about a source and an expert to make others believe the little theory that you're, or the rabbit hole that you're down. Wife Lola says, I mean, we can all agree Kelsey said one of her friends hacked into her account. Well, she didn't say one of her friends. She says she knows who it is. See, it's this misquoting shit. And this, I'm not saying anything, but I'm saying something. Like, why even bring that up, Lilith? Like, you like to hide your intentions. You're a chess player. That's good, you know? But I can see you. Just so you know that I see you. Gladys says, I have a theory that might be crazy, but the timing, if interesting, when Garrett Kurtz was caught for murder, then 2 weeks later, they changed their focus and showed a new sketch. Maybe his DNA matched something. Yeah, Garrett Kurtz is a very interesting um, person of interest. And a lot of times these theories start with him. They start with him, then they move over to his relationship with Michaela, and then Michaela's relationship with Libby. And then they fill in the gaps and they start making up sources, and then they had an expert look at this and that because they've stacked the pancake so high that they feel now confident that it's more truth than a lie. But they've broken the number one rule when it comes to investigation: confirmation bias. We learned that from Paul Holes. Shout out to Paul Holes. Gris says, in my opinion, I don't think the family was involved. Lawrence says, I don't like the mood these fluck rods have put you in. Yeah, I'm working it out. You know, we'll talk through it. And if anybody wants to debate me, the line's right there. If anybody wants to call in and talk with me about this, I would love to talk with you in real time. If you got something to say, you say it now. Face me like a man or a woman, whatever. But if you keep up with this shit, expect pushback. That's all. I'm not judging you. I'm not telling you not to listen to somebody, not to go hang out at their channel. I'm just telling you, expect some pushback. That's it. Nothing wrong with that, right? Archlick says it would be totally different if there was any evidence pointing towards the family. There is not. There isn't. There's just a bunch of information that a good storyteller could piece together to create this magnificent story. And that is a talent. Good for them. But as long as they're not drinking their own Kool-Aid, I mean, Jesus. Here's a question for wife Lilith from Kay. Why would you say you're under a gag order when we know that's not true? Sounds like a good way to avoid answering hard questions, in my opinion. You aren't telling the truth. Sleuth, do all snapshots look like paintings? They look like pretty paintings. Well, you got to remember, Snapchat, you can apply filters. We don't have the original. If anybody's analyzing images, they have to realize that those images have been passed around how many times online? Who knows who did what? Come on, chain of custody, right? Wife Lola says, I answered every question. I even told Ruckus to let the questions go, and he said, no, not me. Well, you didn't answer anything, but that's okay. No big deal. I haven't asked you any questions that you didn't answer. She's awesome. Anyone that brings me coffee. Oh, my wife is amazing. I've never been so happy. I am so confused. I wish we could just get the truth, justice for the girls, and move on. Kevin says one thing I've always found interesting is with the West Memphis Three. Most people think family was involved, but with Delphi, it had to be someone else. Yeah, those cases are a lot alike if you think about it. Very similar. Hey, Deb, what's up? And on an added note, Becky did not appraise by the Flora house for 400,000. Someone misread the appraisal and put the comma in the wrong place. It's appraised for 42,000, which is appropriate. Tina says, "You did a great job on the live, Lilith." I agree. Did she answer anything? No. Did she provide any real information? No. Wife says, "Not only that, it was my first time ever going live. I was tricked into trusting the wrong people. I regret answering questions because I told everyone it was, in my opinion." Yeah, I have no comment on that. I didn't take the bait to begin with. People have to take personal responsibility for following nonsense. I don't blame. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Just me, what's up? In my opinion, the FBI screwed this case up. They fixated on Ron Logan and dropped the ball on Richard Allen, but somehow I think he knew the girls were coming. I don't know. I mean, Ron Logan was a very busy person that day. I think he left around 3. I mean, he definitely all he has is opportunity and creating a false alibi, but he has a history of that, of creating false alibis. But yeah, I can totally see Ron Logan, somebody coming up to him and saying, "Hey, we screwed up. You know, it didn't go as according to plan." And then Ron Logan saying, "Well, you need to clean that shit up," and then he just leaves. You know. Now, is there any evidence of that? Absolutely not. But can we speculate? Yeah, because it's hypothetical. We're not accusing anybody. I didn't have an expert go through the information and validate what I'm trying to push onto you guys. It's just a thought. Do I think Ron Logan had anything to do with this? No, I don't. Could he? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Him and Bigfoot. Don't forget about him. We have experts that put him in the area. Many sightings there at the Monon High Bridge. Patricia says, "Doesn't take much to trigger Gray." I don't know. Maybe it started at a certain place and just evolved. Sure did. Hippie, what's up? Miss Persevere says, "Becky knows where the speculation leads, and so do most of us. That's the problem. As a community, we should be preventing more harm to them than what's already been done." It's sad. Well, we need to be honest, Miss Persevere. I agree with you, but we need to be honest about what YouTube is. It's entertainment. And a lot of these people who follow this case need to be honest about what their intentions are. If it's just for entertainment, that's fine. But you have these people that are saying, "Oh, I'm for the victims' families." And then they go onto a channel and they accuse the victims' family. You can't serve two masters. It's one way or the other. You have to pick. And a lot of these people have already chosen that side. And that's why I use the term dark heart a lot. It's not to judge people, it's just to discern between the two. Honestly, who cares? Yeah, Tina's right. Lilith, you can't please everyone, and that's what she's trying to do. Is to me, in my opinion, it's all for attention, and I don't blame her. I blame everybody who's hanging on every little thing that she says. Of course, she's going to do it. You know, the Pied Piper's going to pipe. Uh, Vicky says that whole area is textbook horror movie. Not a shock that happened, to be honest. I mean, I'm shocked, but you're 100% right. I mean, you couldn't have picked a better place for a horror movie, and they lived it in real life. Yeah, it is personal. Some of the shit you said affected me personally. SP70 says, "Remember, Cop Facts isn't privy to anything." Oh, he has experts though. I agree, Miss Persevere. Hopefully, by presenting the facts and the data, so that we can get behind him. Yeah, Olivia. I'm just mad, and I'm most likely, when I get the shoe out of my mouth, I'll undo all of this. So it's probably better just not to poke at it. Just let me vent, and then we'll put it behind us. Okay. Well, tell me how it doesn't lead to the family, We know Kelsey dropped off Libby, right? She would be the only person to tell us if that is fake or not. Anybody wants to call in? The line is right there. Anybody wants to call in? It's an open invite. Karen says, I did hear the number 20 thrown around a lot at one time. Yeah, you got to be careful with the human element. People like to embellish, you know? I saw 4 people, but really I'm going to tell you I saw 20. It's just like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like a human flaw. Oh, and members, hold on one second. Let me put this up on the screen for you guys. And I think we're going to have a True Crime Bloke as well on from the Divided Kingdom. I made the flyer before he responded to my email, but yeah, I'm gonna shoot him an email and see if he's still up for it. But yeah, we got a members only today, 3 p.m. Eastern time. We're gonna hang out with Ruckus, Deb, Frank, and possibly the Blokester. So keep a lookout for that. For all you members who do not get your notifications, and I don't know why that happens. All I know, the family accusations is getting out of hand, and it's bullshit. Kevin, follow up. Sleuth Intuition, no, in the Renner interview, she clearly states that when she dropped them off, there were 10 to 20. Yeah, and there probably were. I mean, I don't, what does that matter? 10 to 20. I mean, I'm pretty sure she didn't stop and count people. She's like, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, she probably saw a handful over here, and then as she's leaving, a handful over there. 10 to 20. She's not doing a head count. Adolfo. I have a theory. These conspiracy theorists are smoking that bunk herb. Yeah, go get some real shit. Stimulate your mind, Craig. K Money says, I fall asleep to gray hues. It's like white noise. Turn them on. Yeah, because he's got a ton of content. If you go hang out at Gray, Gray Hughes' channel, you're going to get a shit ton of content. And it's all going to be thought provoking and true crime related. Wow. So I don't have any problem with the dude. What if Cop Facts turns out to be right? Because he's not a Photoshop expert. But I do see what you're saying, Sleuth. No proof, just gut feelings. Yeah, if he turns out to be right, I will do a complete. Wait, is it a 180? I'll do a complete 180 and I will shout it from the rooftops. I would love to get behind somebody like Cop Facts on a polarizing issue if we have facts and data to back it up. Joseph Ash, you keep answering Lilith, giving her exactly what she wants. She's welcome here. Wife Lilith is welcome here. She's a friend of the channel, but she will be criticized for the things she says here. She cannot control how you react to what she's saying. Jill Elaine, what's up? Good, good. Hey, Jill. Yeah, everyone is entitled to their opinion until they say an expert has proven it to be true. Hey, Jamie. Good to see you. Yeah, live debate. This is going to be your only opportunity. If you got something to say it now. I'm not going to argue with you in comments. I'm not going to argue with you via email. I'm not going to go check out your channel anymore. I'm not going to do any of that shit. If you got something to say, come and say it. Yeah, that's true, Beach. And if you're a professional, retired or not, people think you're well informed. They take you at your word, so you need to be careful what you're putting out there is all. Yeah, and I don't mind, I don't mind that he's putting it out there. The part that I don't mind is that there's nothing that backs it up. Sorry, just checking out an email real quick. All right, guys, we're going to hang out for about another 10 minutes. Then we're going to get out of here. If you have any follow ups on what was discussed today, leave a comment, please. No disrespect to Cop Facts or the prof or anybody who's pushing this narrative. Um, but yeah, this is welcome to your pushback. Deb says, ask yourselves, how would the prosecution be allowed to use a Photoshop picture in court? Wouldn't the defense rip that up to shreds? Well, one thing we do learn, Deb, is that sometimes these types of images and Photoshop things and stuff like that aren't made for the courtroom. They're made for the interrogation room. Even like the video of BG walking on. I don't think they're going to be able to use that in court. I don't think they ever intended to use it in court. I think it was just a helpful tool to help identify the guy. And then once they have the guy in an interrogation room, pop that on a screen and say, look, there you are, buddy. And then he confesses. Thank you, Miss Persevere. Good. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If anybody wants to address the things that I'm saying, we can do it in real time. You vampires are invited in. Jamie says, sleuth facts. These photos have been messed with so many times over how many years now? Yeah, I mean, unless you have the source image, what difference does it make if you can prove that they're photoshopped? Almost every image that I get, I Photoshop to try to make it clear. It seems 1 minute people want wife Lola's opinion, and then they want to bash on her for her opinion. Which is it? Well, the thing is, she doesn't. She acts like she's going to give you some information. She gives you a lot of vague answers, strange comments, little hints and clues, but never an answer. But I say, hey, keep doing it if people are, keep feeding the rats if they're still coming to get the cheese. No offense. If you're eating the cheese. I like to nibble sometimes. Cindy Lean, my hubby brings me coffee on the weekends over and the day. Aw, that's sweet. Maybe I should start doing the flowers thing. It's a good idea. Kay says, you didn't answer every question. Come on, Lilith. That's a joke. Well, I mean, she didn't answer any direct questions, but I mean, she did answer the questions. She just didn't give any information. Oh. Okay, this is the message that I got from Becky this morning. We have gotten used to this type of behavior, unfortunately. The light at the end of the tunnel is hopefully someday there will be a trial and all the truth will come out. Thank you for saying something. You're welcome.
Hi, Sleuth.
What's up, Boston? What's going on?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you sound great on my end.
Okay. I don't know why I have trouble with StreamYard, but it's just you're so quiet on my end. But I just called in to say I did send you an email, and it was something that I've been trying to track down over the past the year or so that I ran across. And it's some text messages between some friends of Keggins, I believe, and it was right after he was arrested and had his interview and interrogation. So I thought maybe you might want to look over that this afternoon, because I think there's some leading information in there. It's one of the things that I've referenced. One of the things in it is talking about how supposedly when the FBI interviewed this person, they told them that there's like 45,000 DNA samples that they were trying to weed through um, on the case, which I know that sounds like a lot, but I mean, if you think about how many people visit those trails all the time and the searchers and everything like that, I mean, that could be one of the aspects of to why it's complicated, because there would
Hmm.
be a lot of DNA to sift through to find out, like I said, if the trails are visited often, then there's obviously going to be DNA from all over the place. But it's also, there's just some good information in there. So I'm not quite sure about, like I said, I got a call, so I missed a lot of the show. So I'm going to go back and watch replay. But I know I used to watch Cop Facts, and for some reason I stopped following them about a year ago. I think I did that with a lot of the channels that I felt like they were reaching and grasping at straws, trying to put some new information out, um, which is sad. I guess I really just wanted to call in and say, you know, people need to have some empathy for families and children. I mean, I understand that sometimes families can come under suspicion, but for the most part, I think that the Patties and their family and stuff, I think that enough of having them under the microscope. Okay, I think some people just need to have some compassion.
I agree. And I'm going to look over that email that you sent me. And if you hang out in, are you coming to the members meeting today?
Well, I'm not a member.
Oh, you're
I'm
not?
gonna No, but I'm gonna be next month. But I would love to come to. I'd love to watch it. So, um, but I got a couple friends that are members, so I'm sure that they'll give me the down low on it this evening when we chat.
Yeah, and I'll take a look at that and see if it's relevant to what we're going to discuss. It's the discussion is going to be up in the air. It's really whatever Ruckus, Deb, Frank, and I can get the Divided Kingdom on there,
Sure,
whatever they want to talk about.
sure. And
Uh,
I did start watching some of Ruckus last night. I couldn't sleep. I was waiting for Insomnia Crew to come on, but so far Ruckus has some great info. I started rewatching his interview with Alex Voorhees last night. So
yep,
um,
that's a good one.
yeah, for sure. So, but I just wanted to let you know about that email and to tell everyone hi and keep positive energy going on. I think after Kagan's sentencing next week, I think for my personal opinion, I think that's when we're going to start seeing more info and the connections to Delphi.
Yep, I agree. And I
Okay,
appreciate that, Bossy. Thank you so much.
no problem. Have a great afternoon.
Have a great day. Bye.
Bye.
Well, that was nice getting a call from Bossy like that. Appreciate that. What's up, bloke? Sleuth, brother. Should I expect an email in the coming hours? Yeah, like in the next like 10 minutes. Um, yeah, we'll be live in 3 hours. And I'll sorry I didn't get you on this little flyer here. I didn't hear back. I didn't hear back from you till after I completed it. So I apologize about that. But yeah, I'll send everybody a link here in just a little bit, and I'll see you guys in 3 hours. And then I'm going to finish all these comments, then we're going to get out of here. I agree. I heard Tarzan was down there too, and he's related to Bigfoot. You know, they're friends on Facebook. So, I mean, come on, put it together, guys. Hybrid Pisces, what about being for the truth? Yeah, it's all about the truth. But the truth is a perception, and people can manipulate others' perception of what is true. Um, You don't need people to believe in you to get on your team. You just have to convince them. And when you have influence, you can do that. You can help convince somebody, or at least help them to lean one way or the other. And when you have a respected person using words like expert and then not providing any data, I think it's dangerous. Yep, discernment is the key. Yep. You got to take a stance. And as far as I'm concerned, there was a line drawn in the sand with this shit. Occam's razor. Adolfo says the simplest explanation is usually the correct explanation. The theorists have to just admit they are smoking bad weed and going too far down a rabbit hole. Yeah, and I don't blame anybody or any YouTube creator who is just now taking on the Delphi case and trying to work on that puzzle. I don't fault them at all because that's all I am. I'm just an idiot that doesn't know anything who has spent enough time to probably be able to piece things together a little bit better factually than most. That's it. I'm not a smart guy. I don't know anything about investigations. Um, and I hardly know how to spell. So if you think that makes me a dumbass, you're probably right. The Divided Kingdom asking a tough question. Gotta ask, if it's for attention, is the one hosting her also seeking attention? Yes. And that is the job of a YouTube creator, to have guests who are interesting and bring attention to your channel. Yes. Are you guilty for the things they say? I don't know. Are you agreeing, disagreeing, or just allowing polarizing opinions, which I think is fair? Yeah. Expect an email, bloke. And again, sorry about the flyer. I got your return email real late. Sorry about that. But yeah, I'm going to send you that email. True Crime Talk Mod. This channel just popped up on my feed. Hey, Mike, what's up? This is a true crime channel. We cover a lot of the Delphi case, a lot of similar cases, Evansdale, cases like that. We also talk about true crime stuff in the news. We do call ins here. We have a members section. Yeah, we stay pretty busy, man. So you probably saw me pop up in your feed having to do with something about the Delphi case or something true crime related. But yeah, man, I hope you stick around. It's good to see you. Thanks for dropping a comment. We'll have to dive into all that today. Yeah, we're glad to have you. Yes, sir. 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I will send you a link. Maserati says, if Richard Allen is involved, who else would we have in mind when it comes to another POI? Honestly, I'm not sure. I'm looking for a connection to Keegan Klein and Peru and stuff like that, but there's nothing solid. So yeah, that's a good question. I don't have solid information on that. If you were to ask me what I thought, or if I was going to bet, I would bet that somebody who knows Kagan Klein, somebody connected to Keegan Klein and Richard Allen may also be involved in this. For all we know, they recruited Richard Allen. Like, hey, you want to make some money? All right, let me zip down here. Sorry, I'm going to skip a bunch of these and grab some of these that are down here at the bottom. How does the photo being photoshopped, and I do not know if it was or not, lead back to the family? Well, think about it. Kelsey dropped the girls off. She knows exactly what they were wearing. She would be able to look at that photo and say, that's not what she looked like when I dropped her off. So the whole point of the theory of this photo being faked is to implicate Kelsey. That's where this story is leading to. That's why everybody who mentions the Photoshop and the photo, the Snapchat photo of Abby, the next thing they say is, you guys need to turn yourself in. You need to turn yourself in. You need to be the one to get the good deal. They don't ever just say, hey, it was photoshopped. I was able to prove it. Do with that information what you will. No, it's the image is photoshopped. Those people need to turn themselves in. So they're using that information to implicate family members. Yeah, good luck with that, bloke. I'm looking forward to it. Hey, what's up, Tech Death? Aunt Clara, hello. Thank you for being a voice of reason. If this was Photoshop, perhaps it was because they were looking for the man. Yeah, and if it was photoshopped, great. I mean, let's prove it. Let's prove it and let's put it in writing and let's put it in a way that we can explain it and let people do with those facts what they may. Peace out, bloke. I'll see you in a few. Me, myself says, I do follow the Delphi case, but not much to follow because everything is hush and secret. And that's why we speculate. But we're honest about our speculation. We try to keep it to a minimum. We don't want to get too reckless with it. We want to let everybody know we're just brainstorming. But yeah, that is a fact. If it wasn't for all the secrecy, we wouldn't be filling in the gaps on our own. And that's just what's going to happen. There's nobody to blame for that. They're obviously doing it to protect their case. We're interested in the case, and it's human nature and curiosity, really. Like I said, we could burn this channel down, and I'm still going to be on the internet trying to figure out what the hell happened with this case. It's just at that point, I'll be at the mercy of these weirdos. Constantly Curious says, who released the photo of Abby on the bridge? Well, Libby did. She put it out to Snapchat, and then some people posted it to Facebook. But yeah, it was a Snapchat. Anybody that was friends with her on Snapchat got it. And if she's missing, they're going to share it. Like, hey, these were the last Snapchats we got from Abby and Libby. So I mean, they had those images from before they even knew the girls were missing. Argumentative, selective mute. Oh, I love that name. It's too bad everyone's still suspect because law enforcement in DC won't clear anybody. Yeah, and everybody is a suspect. And yeah, I think it's okay to piece together the information and try to tell a good story and say, hey, look, the crime flows this way if you put all the pieces. But that doesn't mean that's what happened. And some people are really talented at that, putting a story together. D, you're late. You don't know that he's confessed to anything, sleuth in reality. Yeah, I don't know anything. We only know what law enforcement says he has said. We don't even know for a fact he talked to a conservation officer that day or what he said. You're right. And that's another frustrating part of this. One thing we've learned a lot from this case, I mean, we've learned tons. But one thing we have learned, or what I have learned, is that law enforcement can be very misleading. Not for nefarious reasons, of course. And they have no remorse. Their goal is to find justice. And sometimes the public is going to be a tool for that. Sometimes that bloodlust that they speak about can be useful. Oh, we have flowers. I have a whole flower bed out back. They got flowers in there. I got a big old garden in the backyard. Deb says the picture of the video will be used in court because it was used to identify the defendant. It might be, but it doesn't have to be. It could be just as useful without going to court, was what I was saying. But yeah, they probably will use it. I don't know how helpful it will be. It wasn't helpful in the investigation. Super junkie. I'd rather listen to a regular Joe who asks questions than a guy who has to tell you about his numerous degrees in unrelated subjects. Yeah, they get all red, Dahmer faced, and question is weird. That's just the ego there. That's the ego coming out. Yeah, the ego is a huge monster to have to deal with. That's sweet of you, Willow. Chopper, don't worry if anything important. Willow Rain 73, just tell next time on a live. Deb says, Willow, I think you have to do it from your computer or laptop. Yeah, you might have to go to the browser. Something weird with the membership stuff doesn't allow you to do it just through like a YouTube app. You actually have to go to the browser and do it. I don't know why. It's still in like it's kind of in a pilot phase, I guess. Like they're still working out the kinks. It's fairly new. Jamie Hicks, I'm glad you broke down the cop fact stuff. That word expert, then showing no proof, receipts, or nothing, but your own opinion is BS. Yeah. I think people just need to be clear. Like, this is my opinion. This is what I found after putting all the pieces together. I can't tie it all together, but if you put these pieces together, it's very interesting. That's it. Because the truth is going to come out, and we're most likely all going to be wrong. And maybe even the conspiracy theorists will be proved to be right. But the good thing about the word prove is that we'll have something to hold in the hand, and we can move on from it. I hope not. I hope not. Yep, Karen, I agree. Everything else is secondary. Oh shit. Sleuth Intuition Willow just gifted memberships. Did anybody just get hit with the membership? If so, make sure you thank Willow. Hey, Mandy, how you doing? You're welcome. Apparently, I can't choose who to give memberships to. YouTube brand. Really? What the freak? That's crazy. Bossy says, "Oh, that's awesome. I just love our community. Sleuth really does connect us all in a good way." Well, I just don't want you guys to be run over. I don't want you guys to be pushed aside. I know how that feels, especially when you got something to say. I think everybody should be heard, but I think everybody should be prepared to be criticized as well. Thank you, V. All right. Let's grab maybe two more and then we're going to get out of here. We got a members live stream we're going to do today. We got a couple questions for Ruck, Deb, and Frank. It's going to be a good one. So if you guys just got hit with a membership, I'll see you there. It's about 2.5 hours. Lola says, I was asked to join Ruckus, not me asking to go on Ruckus. He told me he believed me and I trusted him with info. I'm hurt. Ruckus, you evil man. You misled Lilith. From the 3021. Later, Chopper. Have a great day. Kevin says, at Sleuth Intuition, this will be the last, maybe the last one here. Sleuth Intuition, and don't get me wrong, I don't believe KG did it or anything. I just don't get some of the stuff she said. Yeah, I mean, what is she supposed to say? You know, I would hate for a tragedy like this to fall upon your doorstep and then come and record everything you say and then criticize it. I just don't think there's a manual for being a victim. I mean, you got some people that go completely off the deep end. And I think I fall on that spectrum. I don't know if I can handle it the way they have. Nobody's supposed to deal with this kind of pain. So I think it's crazy to sit there and put them under the microscope while they're expressing this pain and then to tell them they're not expressing it in the right way. There's just something about that that's hard to take. So law enforcement didn't ask Julie or Kelly to not provide some info too. Don't know what that means. Has Kelly said everything, or did law enforcement just ask her and Julie to not share everything as well? What does Julie and Kelly have to do with you? Tina's saying, I'm not saying Kelsey photoshopped it. I'm not sure what mirrored means. They don't look real. I don't know what you mean they don't look real. They look real to me. Hey, what's up, Cody? How you doing, buddy? Been like the new videos you dropped. If you guys are into wrestling, go check out Cody. I think that's the name of your channel, right? Cody WWE Fan Cox. Kay, don't worry about it. You don't need to be a member. You don't have to. That's just for people that want to hang out behind the scenes. No big deal. We're gonna stay active for subscribers and whoever wants to watch. Pretty much every morning. I don't know how long we're gonna stick with Delphi in the mornings. Probably for a little bit longer. Chopper has a crush on Lily. Wife Lila says, not true. I never said I was under gag. Again, I was asked not to talk about certain things. And I guess that's kind of like a gag order. Doesn't mean that you're under that gag order. But just because law enforcement is asking you not to say things doesn't mean you're under a gag order. But I get it. You're being respectful. You don't want to hurt the case. If you know something. Not saying you do. Hey, Carol. Yeah, isn't it like 2 a.m. or some shit? Thanks, Melissa K. That's okay, Cody. When you got $4 extra laying around, go click that button. Jamie says, Chopper Harris, I love your shatty ass. Shoddy. Wasn't speaking for anyone but myself, and if you believe her BS, good for you. I could care less. Yeah. I mean, you guys got to take your own responsibility for what you believe, don't believe, what narrative you support and what you don't support. And it's okay to be wrong, Nothing wrong with that either. See you later, Mandy. Thanks for hanging out as always. All right, let me pick the last one. Wife Lula says, exactly. They didn't talk about what they were asked not to. Same for me. Yep. I agree with that. Good. But yet here you are talking about it without talking about it, right? I think that's the part that's getting to everybody. It's like you were asked not to talk about it, but here you are talking about it, but not talking about it. You know what I mean? All right. That's it, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. If you could hit the like button on the way out. I'm sorry if I offended anybody. I've already lost a lot of subscribers. A lot of people are upset with me. But I just felt like there needed to be some pushback. So I apologize to anybody that was being offended or was offended by anything that I said. I have nothing against theories, speculation. The only thing I have a problem with is talking about experts without providing that data. Please don't do that. Especially if you don't want me to go on a rant. Thank you, K Money. And don't get me wrong, guys. I made my mistakes. I went down those same rabbit holes as I was learning about investigative techniques, statistics and things like that. It's understandable because there's a confusion. And if you're a natural problem solver, you want to jump on it. And sometimes you put in too much effort with no results and you grab onto the low hanging fruit. And I would just expect more from a professional. I don't fault anybody, any of these YouTubers. I'd be a hypocrite if I did. That's not what has me upset. But with that being said, rant over. I will not be bringing this up again. And any of the fodder, I'll try to clear that up. So once again, I do apologize for the nuclear, I guess, fallout. Thanks, Cheeks. You're not going to lose me as a subscriber. Forget those nerds. I'm a bit of a nerd myself. But I get what you're saying. Thank you, Apple. Yep, you have a right to your opinion too, Sleuth, and that's what this platform is. So we can hear your opinion and mine. All right. And once again, sorry if I offended anybody. This is just something that had to be said. Now that I said it, nobody called in on the line. Nobody had anything to say to me. If you want to reschedule and you have something to say to me, we'll conduct it as gentlemen. And for you members, I'll see you in a couple hours, like maybe 2.5. Peace out.